What do you think when I say the name Spider-Man? A web-slinging hero? Your friendly neighborhood hero? Or, well, what about a Japanese mecha pilot fighting knockoff Power Ranger villains? That's right, we're talking about Spider-Man, the Japanese Spider-Man live-action TV show produced by Toei. More specifically, I'm going to talk about the episode where this glorious masterpiece came from. This short compilation on YouTube features Spider-Man getting tossed around by a big dude in an outfit that you would see someone in Star Trek wear. Then a one-eyed cyborg man surrounded by women in bikinis and dudes in gray onesies orders a detective in a kimono to kill Spider-Man via katana. As the big dude and another dude with his winged helmet hold up Spider-Man to be stabbed, a man playing the banjo atop a mountain explains that he hates drugs, shoots bullets from his guitar. Spider-Man then steals an object with his spider string and then proclaims himself as a martial arts champion, with way too many cuts. So why, what, and how was this thing all about? Well, I intend to find out as I watched through this episode and pursue with this knowledge as well. By the way, this is episode 39 of a 41 episode series, and this is going to be the only episode I watched. And I only did a little bit of research for the series, so you best believe I'm going to walk away from this confused. So strap in as I go into my journey of Japanese Spider-Man. Spoilers, obviously. Before I begin with the episode, some context might be needed, I guess. So let's explain the bare bones of this all. Marvel Comics had a man named Gene Hill who negotiated a deal with Toei to produce this show. Gene actually became a very important element in the world of entertainment, as he was Marvel's representative in Japan and helped produce various Marvel works to get translated into Japanese content. With the direct support of Stan Lee, he was allowed plenty of creative freedom when creating Japanese Spider-Man. Fun fact, he then proceeded to go on to work on several animated works. Not only did he create a comic book that inspired the Transformers, but he then even worked on an animated show and movie that came out in the 80s.
Oh, too bad! He's blown his vocal components. I guess that makes me the new leader!
Also, he created a music merchandising company that helped American musicians produce merchandise for the Japanese audience. He's quite an interesting man, really. Now, enough about him and onto his creation. Spider-Man, aka Takuya Yamashiro, was given a mecha and got his powers from an alien UFO to fight off evil monsters. If that sounds a bit like the plot of Power Rangers, that's because Toei actually used this concept to create Super Sentai, which then was the inspiration for Power Rangers. That's right, you have Spider-Man to thank for the iconic multicolored mecha pilots. Okay, trivia is fun and all, but why is he Spider-Man? He wasn't bitten by a radioactive spider like the one in the comics. Well, the alien came from the planet Spider. The UFO is a battleship called the Marvel, because of course it is. Anyways, enough about the origin story. I don't need any more context onto this episode. Onto the episode. The intro to the episode is, as you would expect, well, film credits appear on the foreground, and in the background the show's theme song plays. Sort of does sound like a theme song that Spider-Man would have. I'm not gonna let you listen to it because I'm afraid of copyright claim. But anyways, just take it from me, it does sound appropriate for the show. So the actual episode itself begins with Takuya on a motorbike before stopping in front of a plastic spider on a cobweb. Then the spider on a cobweb falls down and then Takuya picks it up and strokes it and puts it back. So, already, what? I think the show is trying to imply that he nearly ran into the cobweb, but then stopped with his spider sense, so he never actually hit it. So then, why did the spider fall? Was it scared? Do spiders suddenly have human emotions like fear that translate that directly? That they'll jump in shock? Why was he lecturing the spider about creating a web in the middle of nowhere? It's the middle of nowhere. The spider should be safe from people. You're the problem, Spider-Man. Anyways, Takuya senses danger and drives to a construction site. Meanwhile, a man with a cowboy hat and a guitar walks to a jeep. Turns out it's his jeep and his son was hiding inside of it. Then the narrator tells us that this cowboy hat man is Detective Tachibana, and his wife was killed by the Iron Cross Army. Bad guy group, I assume. And his son has amnesia and only just got it back. That's a lot of exposition. Don't know how it's relevant, and spoilers, it really isn't for the rest of this episode. Also, with all this exposition, I'm definitely missing important context, but whatever. So the two do some skeet shooting, and Tachibana spots a car being driven by a man in a balaclava named Killer Nelson. Nelson enters the construction site that Spider-Man was just in. Waiting there are two people in hiding. Tachibana also chases after Nelson. Turns out the two hiding were detectives arresting Nelson for narcotics. Nelson then beats them up in the classic late 70s, early 80s style of martial arts choreography, Then a woman in a tiara and a crop whip gets his attention. Then the next shot, I'm pretty sure the actress corpses and laughs for some reason. It looks very genuine, and I don't know why they kept in it to take a reshoot. She doesn't look smug and confident, she just looks like she's trying to stifle a laugh. Angry, Nelson goes to attack the woman, only for the big man to appear with a dome hat. He intervenes and throws Nelson aside. Nelson then attempts to fight the man to no avail. Big man then proceeds to reverse standing 69 Nelson to death. What's happening? Is Nelson supposed to be a pre-existing character? Who are these two villains? What happened to the two detectives? Also, why did Nelson clutch at his head when I think his back was broken? Is that how you react when your back breaks? You clutch at your head? Spider-Man then gets a spider sense that something wrong was happening. Why is he in tall grass again? He was just at the construction area. Why did he leave? How much time has passed? I have so many questions already. One of the detectives attempts to arrest the big man. He's not named yet, nor the woman, despite everyone else being named by the narrator by this point. I don't know why he's even bothering. Killer Nelson literally tossed him and his friend around, and this guy killed Killer Nelson without even breaking a sweat. Goes about as well as you expect. I don't know what the detective was expecting after watching this man kill another man via 69. Then the Iron Cross goons arrive and attack the detective. The detective actually does quite well, honestly. Also, I just noticed that these costumes have beaks on them. Are they meant to be bird costumes? Are these evil birdmen? Then it's the big man's turn, and just as he gets his hands on the detective, Tachibana shoots one of them. The smoke makes it unclear who actually got hit. Reaction shot. Turns out the detective's name is Shimamoto, and now Tachibana is going to fight the giant with a gun. Why didn't Shimamoto have a gun? He was a cop, right? Whatever, we're only 6 minutes into this thing. But it turns out the henchmen also have guns. Wait, why didn't you just use that earlier when Shimamoto was beating you all? Your objective was to kill him, right? Also, how has he escaped if you surrounded the place with guys with guns? Also, that's not how you crack knuckles. Thankfully, Spider-Man saves the day, and the evil villain woman smoke bombs away to safety. The foursome then convene and talk about how they tried to follow Nelson before Iron Cross interfered. What do you mean interfered? You lost. Nelson beat you two. What are you talking about? You would have gone away. Why did Iron Cross kill him? And what do you mean that Nelson's a pro wrestler? What do you mean invincible? So the narrative now explains the evil woman is Amazonas, and she had two machine warriors, a great wrestler and a superhuman fighter, as her lackeys. The big guy was a wrestler, so why was Nelson also a wrestler? Did they both just do pro wrestling as a hobby? Did they ever work with each other in a match before? I feel like they would have been in DDT. Either way, I'm not going back to the series to find these answers, so I'm going to stay confused. And these edits are a bit much. Also, the narrator tells us that two henchmen fight people and recruit the strong who survive, I guess. What's wrong with your hand? Random cuts to pictures of boxing matches and wrestling matches. I don't know. Man in a kimono is then captured. We're 9 minutes in. Tachibana has his son stay with another family as he goes to fight crime. Amazonas reports to evil cyborg boss, man are her eyes intense. They set up a trap for Spider-Man. A woman then picks up a flyer dropped by an airplane talking about a martial arts tournament. There's like only 3 people being featured. Why is this advertised? Who is this woman? And who is Kiganjima? Anyways, the two machine warriors are here now, and the woman grunts. What? Reaching the apartment place where Tachibana dropped his son, she steals some water that was just there. The other two were drinking something from a thermos. Why is there just a glass of water at the empty side of the table? Why is this drinking scene so necessary? Oh wait, this green shirt guy is Takuya. Okay, Spider-Man. Sure. Why are those two just standing there? Why is she still thirsty? They never bothered chasing her? Who are these people to Takuya? I don't have, nor will I look for any more context in this episode. The narrator then does some heavy lifting and explains how it was clearly a trap for Spider-Man. Of course it is. Features the bad guy that Spider-Man's friends had to fight. Also, Tachibana had to save Shimamoto. Wait, is Shimamoto the swordsman? Wait, what? Why was he dressed like that? Why did he have a sword? Did the Iron Cross army really expect Spider-Man to just participate in this clearly trap of a tournament? Spider-Man and Tachibana then meet at a dock, and though Tachibana is warned of the trap, Tachibana still is adamant to go and save Shimamoto. Spider-Man, knowing the dangers, Purple nurples Tachibana to incapacitate him and goes in his stead. Okay, so the guy in the brown kimono was the detective in the brown trench coat. The guy in the black jacket is just gone for the rest of this story. Shimamoto, the guy in the trench coat, now in the kimono, was only captured because he was a decent enough fighter. What if he lost the fight and just got killed? The great wrestler was just gonna kill him earlier. What would have happened if either of those situations occurred? Spider-Man would have no reason to go then, because he's only going now because he needs to help his friend, not because of the challenge. How the hell has the Amazoness failed her way into success? We are 13 minutes in. Okay, so Kigajima is an island. Didn't know that. Now I do. And Spider-Man does some really bad sneaking around. Crotch shot. Anyways, Spider-Man saves Shimamoto, and as they escape, they're caught. Turns out it was a trap, as Shimamoto has a mind control device attached to him. But again, what if he just died earlier? He could not have been the only person in Japan able to put up a fight against your two machine warriors. What if he just found a random dude? Spider-Man wouldn't have come because he wouldn't have known about this dude. And that's why he's here. He knew the tournament was a fake, so he wouldn't have arrived for the tournament. How did this plan even work? Also, apparently, for some reason, the tournament goes underway. Why? Wait, hold on, they're actually holding a legit tournament? There are other competitors? So there were other people who were able to put up a fight against these two. This is a two birds, one stone thing? Kill Spider-Man and have a fun show featuring capable fighters? I'm guessing these guys are under hypnosis as well, but again, all of this hinges on Shimamoto being caught and not dying earlier by the Iron Cross. Nothing would have mattered otherwise. Anyways, the wrestler has a really bad wrestling match and then proceeds to win. Shimamoto then fights, wait, Kendo level 5? You mean like 5th Dan in Kendo? I mean, that's like really good, but it's not like best of the best world-class level of skill. That's junior instructor level, which, well, takes a lot of hard work. You can find a fair amount of people who can do that. There are definitely a lot of guys better than him. Anyways, Shimamoto is set to fight Superhuman again. Spider-Man takes Shimamoto's place, but now has to fight both machines. This woman's eyes are unnerved, so Spider-Man fights the two, and does fine initially, but is slowly overpowered by the bad guys. So he calls for the aid of Spider-Man Machine GP7. Fortunately, I have no idea what GP7 is, as an electromagnetic field blocks it. Evil Man thought of everything. Who are you? They've never said your name once yet. Just as Spider-Man receives a beatdown and is about to be executed, Tachibana is now here playing the guitar. Guitar is also a machine gun and destroys the electromagnetic field. Spider-Man, now having reprieve, snatches the hypnosis device from Evil Boss's hands, then proceeds to proclaim himself as martial arts champion. Yeah, I thought in the original video they cut to this scene. It actually happens sequentially, immediately one scene after another. Also, what do you mean you're martial arts champion? Didn't win. In fact, what happened to the other two? Don't tell me they died. Are you telling me that all the bad guys could have just been beaten by gun? Wait a minute, I made a whole video featuring that joke before. What the hell is happening? Spider-Man then fights some bad guys before calling GP7, who is a car. Cool. Also, okay, cool, the warrior machines are still alive, and Tachibana continues to shoot them. Then the car drives past them, and I guess that's too much for the wrestler, as I think he dies as Superhuman turns giant. So wait, all it took to take down this giant menace was just to sideswipe him with a moving vehicle? I mean, granted, earlier when he fought the other dude, he got hurt by just punches, but I mean, Invincible Professional Killer Nelson? He couldn't even hurt him. How weak is Killer Nelson? How weak is Shimamoto? And hang on, so we knew that that other dude was able to punch the Great Wrestler and hurt him. We know Spider-Man was able to punch the Great Wrestler and hurt him. We've seen that. Killer Nelson wasn't able to harm the Great Wrestler, and Killer Nelson was apparently an invincible pro wrestler. Shimamoto could not beat Killer Nelson. Shimamoto disarmed Superhuman Fighter. What is this power ranking system? Why is the Superhuman Fighter so weak? And speaking of Superhuman being weak, Superhuman, once he turns giant, just gets immediately shot and stabbed and dies. Yeah, no, he's just dead. He's meant to be elite fighter, but he does nothing. He loses the fight to Shimamoto, and then proceeds to have a 2-on-1 against the Spider-Man, where the Great Wrestler does most of the heavy lifting. And then when he just tries to fight Spider-Man, he just explodes. He just loses. He doesn't even get to fight back. Did all the resources just go into the Great Wrestler? Superhuman just the leftovers, scraps, after everything was poured into the Great Wrestler? How are these guys a dangerous duo? In fact, during the explanation of Superhuman and Great Wrestler attacking powerful martial artists, we only see the wrestler being able to take a guy out. We then see the Superhuman get disarmed. An unbalanced duo. Also, again, gun was the answer. 3 Superhumans then congratulate each other. Where are the bad guys? Unlike last time, we don't see them smoke bomb away. Who was the main bad guy? And who were the other 2 women standing in the background with him? Tachibana then picks up his kid and happily drives off into the sunset. Bad guys aren't gone, right? It's over. What do you mean it's over? What do you mean it's ended? There's only 2 episodes left in the series. What do you mean that you're ending the episode just like that? Did the episode run out of time? It felt like it at the end. I'm just confused about everything even after watching everything. This was popular enough to inspire Super Sentai? This got 41 episodes? This was a success? How do I end this? Don't understand this episode. The fight scenes were alright, the editing was a bit much, and the Amazonas was a character that confused me. None of the good guys seemed particularly competent, and I still don't understand the story. There were some pretty funny moments to watch, I guess. At least decades later, the Spider-Verse stuff brought back Takuya, and he had some pretty fun moments there. I suppose if you want more of this madness, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. I might go ahead and cover more of this show. There are other weird compilations that exist after all. And watch my other stuff while you're at it. Until then, it's Captain Bill signing out. See ya?